Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our channel. My name is Terrell.
And my name's Brendan.
And we have
BNT Reacts. And today we are checking out the problem with K-pop idols who aren't Asian. And this is by
Allure La Lisa.
Sure. It's a lot of letters together, and
Allure La Lisa.
Allure Alisa.
Allure, like allure La
Allure?
Lisa. Like
Alisa.
A-lure La Lisa.
Why isn't... Okay.
Why?
What I see like Alisa at the end, though. Like Allure Alisa.
Allure La Lisa. Like A, then
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
and then La Lisa is the name of Lisa in Blackpink. That's her name, La Lisa. Definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. Check this out. This is a very interesting topic. I didn't really know there was any I didn't realize that there were non-Asians in K-pop music. I guess I didn't really think too much of it.
Yeah, I guess like it makes sense.
Yeah, but I didn't think too
I
much
never thought
of it.
of it.
But this is a very curious topic. Let's see how La Lisa Allure depicts this. Let's get into it. Also, before we get into a like and
subscribe.
The K-pop industry is an industry that's extremely popular. There are a lot of groups that are influential beyond the borders of South Korea that have made.
Damn! Shout out to BTS. They're on a hiatus right now because some of them are going.
I thought all of them had to go into.
I don't think all of them. Some of them are. I talked to my friend Louisa about it. Louisa is a part of the BTS fan group.
The ARMY.
Yeah, the ARMY, and Louisa kind of broke it down for me. Not all of them. I don't know if all of them are going, but I don't think all of them necessarily need to go right away. But they are taking a hiatus. Yeah.
The fight.
Such an impact locally and have brought more attention to this music industry globally. And of course, with more global success, the more people around the world fall in love with K-pop and want to be idols. In this video, we will be talking about foreigners in K-pop and my opinion on them. Before I start the video, I want to put a little disclaimer.
I already know your opinion.
Isn't black and white. I can like things about someone and also dislike things about that same person. If you can't handle the idea that someone doesn't think 100% positively about your idol, and you don't like people criticizing their actions, then please leave. If you're quick to label something as hate or an attack simply because it's not positive or biased towards your liking, then this isn't the channel for you. I have no time to sugarcoat things in order to make you feel comfortable. I have my thoughts and opinions, and that's all I can speak on.
Okay.
It's impossible for me to please everyone, and I won't try to. Please remember to be respectful. We can all have our opinions and respectfully disagree with each other. So what is the problem with foreigners in K-pop? The truth is there is no problem. K-pop isn't a genre of music. K-pop is an industry with multiple genres of music, inspired by a lot of different people. K-pop isn't Asian music. K-pop is music in Asia. I would somewhat understand the need to gatekeep the K-pop industry if it was an industry based on Asian music. I would absolutely understand why people would like only Asians to be able to debut as K-pop idols if K-pop was traditionally or historically Asian music with Asian concepts, but that isn't the case. K-pop isn't Asian, therefore I don't understand the need to limit participating in K-pop to only Asians. Take for example, GD. He is considered the king of K-pop. Yes, he is extremely talented and he makes great music. But his entire image is being swag, hip and basically embodying a black man. The same thing goes for thousands of artists, and no one sees a problem with it. Do you see how problematic it is to look at someone and say, hey, we are going to have a party inspired by you. We're going to take your music. We're going to take your clothing. We're going to take your lyrics. We're going to take your hairstyles, your slang and your personality, but you're not invited to the party. That is extremely unfair, extremely problematic and overall disrespectful. If you want to take elements of black culture, then respect the people who created it. To clarify, there is nothing wrong with being inspired and participating in elements of other cultures. What's wrong is when you create an image based on stereotypes, you profit off that image, then proceed to discriminate against the people who basically gave you the platform you have. If it weren't for black people, 90% of this industry would be jobless. Almost every boy group would be out of business. YG Entertainment as a whole wouldn't exist, and the industry would not nearly be as popular as it is. The reasoning I see a lot of why foreigners shouldn't be in K-pop is representation. I often see people saying that K-pop is a form of representation for East Asians, and although I do agree that K-pop has given East Asia a lot of exposure, I genuinely don't see it as representation because majority of East Asians don't fit the standard to be a K-pop idol. I also don't see it as representation because only a certain group of East Asians are being represented. Only the skinny ones that have pale skin and fit the beauty standards are represented and get accepted, while the ones with a darker skin tone or way more aren't seen. They are deemed as unattractive and have to undergo surgery, strict diets, and skin bleaching in order to debut as idols. I won't sit here and pretend that there isn't a huge problem with Korea boos and the glorification of South Korea, as well as the fetishization of East Asians, because there is. Korea boos, they are obsessed with the country and the culture, and not in a genuine or authentic way, but an addictive, possessive, and concerning way. There is a lot of that, and it is a problem that should be solved. But I think a lot of you only care for fetishization, villainizing, infantilizing, or appropriating cultures when it's to your benefit. I don't see being a culture vulture as a reason to stop someone from being an idol, when 90% of K-pop idols are culture vultures themselves. Most of them appropriate other people's cultures with absolutely no respect or regard for the people of that culture. Do I think it's a bad thing? Absolutely. But to me, if you don't have a problem when they do it to others, you shouldn't have a problem when someone does it to them. That's how I see it. Is it a problem? Yes, and none of it should be okay, but let's hold everyone to the same standard. If you're willing to overlook someone appropriating Black and Desi culture, if you're willing to support them despite them doing that, but you're not willing to support another person because they appropriated Korean, Chinese, or Japanese culture, I see that as a problem, especially when you yourself are not of any of those ethnicities. My question is, why does the respect of certain cultures matter more to you than others? If you're at least of that ethnicity, I can understand there will be some form of personal resentment, but if you're not, it's weird. You should treat everyone fairly. When your favorite idol says something disrespectful towards a group of people, you defend their actions and try to minimize the outrage. But when someone says something disrespectful to your favorite idol, it's the end of the world. I see a problem with that. It's very biased and odd. Despite Korea being a very racist country, I find that when a foreign idol debuts, Koreans are more open-minded about them debuting, while international fans are the ones that heavily critique them. In all honesty, I think that international fans have the biggest problem with foreigners in K-pop. I think international fans are very possessive over Korea, whether they realize it or not. They have a habit of caring way too much about foreigners in K-pop, more than Koreans themselves. A perfect example would have to be when Fatu debuted. It was international fans doing most of the complaining about how she shouldn't be a K-pop idol, how Black people shouldn't be in K-pop. It was very weird and disturbing to see. When Kachi debuted, it was a whole roller coaster, and the entire K-pop community was very against the idea of those girls debuting. In all honesty, they aren't hurting anyone. They're not doing anything bad. The girls are simply living their dreams. They love singing and dancing. And although their talents aren't strong whatsoever, you can tell it's something they enjoyed. And the way they were treated was horrible. Everyone looked at every single reason.
I don't know none of these artists.
I felt so bad for them.
Seen anything of these artists ever.
And it was very unreasonable. People were making up things about them, are saying they bullied Jennie. All the K-pop YouTubers made videos about them and said they were horrible people and they were untalented Korea boos. Although I really didn't like their music, I felt bad for them. I thought people were being extremely cruel to them and were looking for reasons to dislike them. I don't consider Kachi a K-pop group because they aren't based in Korea, but you know the crazy thing is, everyone that made a video trying to tear them down, I think it was purely out of jealousy. I think if any one of you were given the opportunity to debut as an idol, you would definitely take it. When Lana debuted, I think she had more support because she fits the beauty standards. She is really pretty and I do really like her. Her debut was a mess, but it wasn't necessarily a bad song. I think her comeback was an improvement from her debut. I don't know what she's up to nowadays, but she seems extremely sweet. I feel like back then I was way more involved with the K-pop community and who's debuting, who was having a comeback. But now I'm just more of a casual listener that supports certain people. I think that's all I have to say for this video. It's long enough and I am too lazy to do all that editing. I'm sure I will spam more of my opinions in the comments section below, but overall, I don't see a problem with foreigners being in K-pop, because K-pop is based on foreign concepts, and I think it's completely unfair to give the K-pop industry access to all these different cultures. I think it's unfair to let them be as inspired as they want by certain groups of people, but exclude those groups of people from participating in the industry that is inspired by their culture. That's the best way I can say it. I don't know about white people, but for Black and brown people, their cultures has and continues to heavily shape and influence the K-pop industry. From music to outfits to visuals to people's personalities and how they present themselves. Black and brown cultures have done a lot, and I mean a lot, for the K-pop industry. Anyways, I think it's completely unfair to shut Black and brown people out of an industry that was literally built on their culture.
Speak the truth. What did you guys say about that video?
I would agree with I mean, I guess that closing statement pretty much summed everything up. I didn't know. I didn't know the groups that had non-Asian members in them, but I think what they said at the beginning, where it's like, I forgot the exact wording, but it's like it's not like Korean-based music. It's just like music in Korean, and like he said, like it's been influenced by. Like, I mean, I guess from what we've seen, there were a lot of videos that we saw that were taking a lot from, like, Black culture and everything. So it's like, if a whole, like he said, I guess it was what they said, it was a whole, like, groups, entertainment groups, I can't think of the word, but were, like, inspired by completely different cultures. And then they're gonna say that those people can't be an idol, or like, I think that it's wrong. And I think that I would agree with the video. I think it made a lot of good points about it. I would agree.
First of all, I want to start off by saying shout out to Allura Alalisa for the very informative video, and this very this laying it out straightforward, very straightforward with the concept, very straightforward with the opinions. It was like, listen, you want to get it how you get it. I very much enjoyed that. I agree with pretty much everything. I can't really speak too much on Asian culture because I'm not Asian. I've never been to an Asian country, or I've never that's just not my culture. So I can't really speak on many aspects of how K-pop is influenced by Asian culture. That's just not my place at all to even speak on that because I don't know. And I also want to say, I'm sure there are a lot of in American music as well. There's a lot of Asian culture that is being taken for advantage, or taken. There have been a lot of appropriation for Asian culture in American music as well. It's not just y'all know what I'm trying to say. But I can definitely agree. Speaking as a Black person, I don't think it's just the K-pop industry. I think it's the music industry. I think it's the film, TV. I think it's the fucking social media. I think it's a lot of shit. And people sit here and people try to say, oh, that's the internet. I got that from the internet. And no, it's so many things that are Black culture. That's the problem. The problem is not you using it. The problem is not you saying these phrases, or that's not the problem. The problem is that these phrases get popularized, usually most of the time, by people with fair skin colored. They get popularized by them, but they are not the originators. So you got people, and I'm not going to say no names, but you got some... You can say K-pop artists, you can say regular music artists, you can even say TikTokers out here who making popular dances, dances everybody dancing to. They thinking they're creating it. Turns out it's a Black artist who started the dance. They just stole it from and didn't get him credit. Guess what? Now the Black artist done did all that work and ain't get no recognition. It goes to like, this, and I cannot stress this enough. And I don't give a fuck if anybody get married or not. So much of our culture today is from Black people, period. So much of even the gay culture, oh my God, yes, sis, purr, this, that is from Black trans women. Yet they do not get the it is so crazy because so much of the culture, people saying period, this, that, and some of the videos, don't get me wrong, they're funny and they're entertaining, but the whole message of it is, you got these fair-skinned people who doing these things and saying these things, and they getting popular off of shit that Black people, when the originators, didn't get popularized. They didn't get popular from it. And so that's when it becomes a problem, because it's like, wow, so you're profiting off of something that you did not create. This is not from you, because you grew up in the suburbs, baby. You did not pick up this language. Like, it's certain shit that it's just like, you did not pick up this language on your own. You were not saying this. This is something that you picked up from somebody you saw. Most of the time, it was a Black person. Just to say, and this is just me connecting the two, not only just K-pop, to everything as a whole.
Just media and like entertainment.
Everything as a whole. It's connecting, and it's just frustration, because it's like, damn, I grew up saying some of this shit, and now some of this shit popular, and it's like, We used to get called ghetto for saying that. You got white girls wearing box braids when black women were fucking ridiculed for years for wearing black braids and box braids. Like, what? It don't make no sense when you got the famous white girls up there, you know, the sisters. I'm not going to say the name, but you know, they making, it's just like, what the fuck? Nah, no, I'm not talking about them sisters. I'm talking about them sisters. It's really crazy. That's just that's the sad truth of it. And honestly, I can sit here and say that I will fight every battle, but honestly, at a certain point, it just it's fucking exhausting as a fucking black person to keep saying the same shit over and over, and people want to keep ignoring it and keep pushing it to the side like it don't fucking matter, or we just fucking crazy and we just making this shit up. But I'm gonna just leave this message with y'all, and I'm gonna say this. I have no problem against any K-pop, like artists or anything. I think a lot of times in the K-pop industry, actually, I think, a lot of times, I'm very excited, especially when this is why I like Mamamoo a lot. And this is why I'll say, this is why I like, Wasa a lot. Wasa, every time I see, like a lot of times when we watch Wasa perform, Wasa always gives credit to the influences and how she has, how it made her to be a performer and how that shaped her and her influences made her to be a performer. Specifically Beyonce, giving this black woman her flowers for watching her and studying her to become the performer she is now. When people do shit like that, it's like, great, you are giving them their fucking flowers, you are showing them that you appreciate them. But then when you out here and you ain't just saying shit and you got people thinking that you created this or nah, that's not cool. I went on a whole rant, y'all, but you know, my black people, y'all know what I'm talking about. All right, y'all, I'm not crazy. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This shit is crazy. It's like, anyway, that's all of this reaction. If you like this video, thumbs up. Make sure you also hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and comment down below what you thought about this reaction if you want to check out more videos like this one.
And make sure to follow us on all of our social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Follow both of our separate channels. Make sure to check out our second channel and follow our Discord.
Yeah, shout out again to Aloha Lalisa for the very, I like videos like this. You know, I like silly videos where we can sit and laugh, but I also like videos where we can like, you know, like this, see some real shit, especially like the real shit behind the K-pop industry, because there'd be a lot of shit that be going on that we discovered through this channel in the K-pop industry that we would never known if we ain't check it out. It'd be a lot of shit. I didn't even know it was a black K-pop artist, so
yeah, I didn't
check her out. Maybe. Anyway, that's all for this reaction, and we're out. Bye.